Hello. Welcome to Mini Mompreneur Musing episode 16. So I have a babysitter at home right now, and I am in my mobile office. And it feels good to be here without interruptions. So I want to talk about just being. And it is so simple. And yet sometimes the simplest things are not always the easiest things. And it's taken me quite some time to discover and really lean into this and recognize and realize that taking the time to just be in, however that manifests itself, whether it's taking a walk or taking a shower or whatever, but taking the time to just be and not do, is not necessarily an escape from the work, but a part of the work, a part of the deeper work. So let me give you some context. The other day I was talking to my friend Faith, who co-hosted my Real Mom Talk show with me, which, by the way, so here's a little aside, is a juicy live stream that I'm doing in my Lean In Mama Facebook group every other Wednesday, where I open up a really nuanced conversation on some topic in our experience of motherhood and play with it and invite some paradigm shifts. And to be clear, this is not about parenting. It's about parenthood. It's about our experience of motherhood and the questions we have and the lessons we can learn. So if any of that resonates with you, that is in my Lean In Mama Facebook group, and we'd love to have you join the conversations. But the point is that, and how all this relates to what I want to talk about in this episode, is that Faith and I were talking about the juggle. And when I say the juggle, to me, in my life right now, as a mom of young children, a couple older and a couple younger, and trying to, build a side hustle and build a business and, devote time to my creative projects. The juggle is exactly that. It's juggling between these two, between, full-time childcare and me being the full-time child carer, and the pressure of filling those, those teeny little windows of time that I get to myself outside of that constant, being around kids, trying to fill those teeny little windows with the most productive or efficient activities or tasks. And what I realized in my conversation with Faith was that for so long, for the past year or so, that I've been really actively doing this juggle, is that I'd been weaving between taking care of my kids, which is the majority of my time, right? That's the majority of my life, taking care of the kids, and in the little windows of time, pushing myself to create content, to do my business building stuff, to work on my creative projects, in every small window, which was primarily nap time. And while my focused work time, right, those small windows of focused work time for me, do not add up to a lot of hours. I mean, it's really, like I said, it's primarily during my youngest's nap time. So it's like an hour and a half a day that I have, and now she's kind of transitioning from naps and I'm going crazy. But the point is that while my focused work time does not add up to a lot of hours, it's maybe like 8 to 10 hours a week or so, I was starting to feel this dull sense of, I don't know if you call it burnout, or more accurately, maybe just this sense of not being fully energized by my work. And in talking to Faith and expressing to her that, that anytime I get a couple hours, even outside of my nap time hustle, like if I get a babysitter or if I have my husband stay home with the kids for a couple hours on the weekend, what I would do routinely during that time, my routine was to grab my laptop, head over to a coffee shop, and just sit there and work, right? And create content and, do all the brainstorming and and just work. And as I was expressing this to her, I was realizing this deep longing to simply have time to myself, to be and not to work and not to do, right? To take a walk. Like if I have a couple hours of a babysitter, or while the husband is home with the kids on the weekend, all of a sudden I was feeling like I would love to just like take a walk or get a pedicure, or I don't know, just sit in the park and, or sit by the river and gaze and just be and not do and nourish myself. And so this last week, I generally have a babysitter come just one morning a week for a couple hours. And like I said, up to now, all of those times have been sitting at a coffee shop and working. But last week, when the babysitter was over, I took a walk to the riverfront. It was a glorious sunny day, and I was just guided. It was just this instinctual thing where my legs were just pulling me. My body was being pulled to the riverfront. And so I took a walk. I didn't listen to podcasts. I didn't talk on the phone. I didn't scroll through social media. And this marvelous thing happened. What happened was that ideas started swirling and moving and shifting and developing and playing out. And it was exciting, and I got really lit up and excited by all these ideas that started developing. And here's the big realization that I had, is that as makers, as builders, as creators, we are also consummate consumers, right? We fill our lives with learning and information, which is great and amazing and valuable. The podcasts, the live streams, the trainings, all that stuff is so awesome, and it feeds us. However, what I came to realize is that if we don't make the space, the open blank space, white space in which to just be, then all that stuff that we're taking in is going to go unprocessed. And so making time and space to just be and not do is where our unconscious assimilates the information, and that is where the magic happens. So that is my invitation to you, to create some white space in your calendar and hop in the shower, take a walk, whatever it is, just be. Just let yourself be and not do. One more noteworthy point is that, and the reason why I said take a walk or hop in the shower is that I realized that the most simple tasks, like walking or showering, so often open us up to that space of assimilation and integration. Right? That's why we need a whiteboard in the shower. I swear. The shower time is where all the inspiration flows. When you're just standing, you're not doing anything. You're just standing and having the water flow over you when there's this beautiful flow space where you're just being. And in that space of just being, there's this magical thing of inspiration happening. All right, so that is my Mompreneur Musing episode 16 for you. I hope it was valuable to you, and now go be. Just be and nourish yourself. All right, I will catch you on the next episode.